I'm Bridget Kilbride, and our group made Muscle Munch a new way to energize.
So I'm Susan Huang.
Michael Sunshine.
I'm Kate Lowry.
So our product, Muscle Munch, aimed to create a new product to compete with the Cliff Bar. And sometimes we've found that people are very adamant about eating Cliff Bars because they don't know exactly what's in them based off of the visual feedback that they're receiving. So what we did is we aimed to make a new bar that was wholesome and you could see the ingredients inside of it, as well as other types of flavors. So what we did was we turned to market analysis, and we saw that 47% of our target age group of 18 to 24 years preferred a nut-based or sweet spread that was a well-known brand. So what we did was we took Nutella and we factored that into our bars, and we went on to the iteration process of our production labs. And what we did in our first one was we looked at the base ingredient of either puffed wheat cereal, whole grain oats, or cornflakes. And we found that cornflakes were the best, which is located in the middle, on the right. And that they provided the best balance of absorbance of our chocolate mixture, because the other ones either absorbed too much and became dry, or they didn't absorb it enough and were too liquidy. And then we proceeded to our next lab, where we looked at the different sweetener types and the ratios of them, because we originally used agave nectar to get a more natural aspect to our bar. However, it was too sweet in our first lab. So what we did was we also looked at honey and the different ratios of those two sweeteners to see whether or not just honey or just agave nectar would be best, or a combination of the two. And we found, based off of taste testers, that a combination of the two was the best. So we proceeded to make our final bar with craisins as well, which you can see right here, because the craisins helped balance out the sweetness with their tanginess, and they also added nutrition to our bar. And you can also see the ingredients here, as well as the nutrition facts right there. And some future iteration improvements, we would make our bars more structurally stable, because for our target age range, we want college students to be able to keep them in their backpacks all day and be able to eat them at the end without pulling out some sort of meltedness. So we'd add more stabilizing agents, such as more cornflakes or something like that, so that they don't melt as easily.
Okay, so going back to our final bar's nutrition, we met all three of the guidelines or guideline options that were given to us. Per serving, our bar has 6.2 grams of fiber, which is above the 5 gram requirement. We also have a high amount of iron, 83% of your daily value in every serving, along with 21% of your vitamin C. It is an energy bar, so it is a little bit higher in calories at 397, but it is loaded with carbohydrates, it has protein, and has significantly less sodium than a Cliff Bar does, just because of the way it's processed. Because we used agave nectar, the bar was a little sickeningly sweet, so we used a 5-point scale to measure the sweetness. 1 being way too sweet, 5 needs much more sweetener. Out of the 24 participants, we had an average of 2.72, which we took as an almost perfect balance of the flavors. We wanted our product to be natural and wholesome, so we tried to use as much whole foods as we possibly could. We had 89.8% whole foods in our product, and very little other things to add in. Susan can talk about how it's made.
So the following is the process for manufacturing, as you can see in this picture. And we have a boiler, a mixer, a sprayer, and a dryer for our process, and which can really makes it easy for manufacturing and time saving. And the following is a process mass balance and the process energy balance. And you can see for the mass balance part, after the calculation, we can see the water loss is about 2.01 grams. And the energy balance, after calculation, we can see the efficiency is 96%, which is really very high.
Okay, so for our energy balance and mass balance, we just pretty much compared the mass flow rates in our process flow diagram, and we calculated the energy based on how much we're going to be using for drying and mixing, and we calculated that it's going to be about 96% efficient, which is very good compared to a lot of the other processes that are on the market today, and it could be improved more if we optimize our process.
All right, and have you guys tried it?
Yes, and it's great.
All right.